Hello guys, and welcome back to another class of our course about the complete introduction to data science with Python. So until now we talked about many Python tools that can be used, such as NumPy, SciPy, and SciPy. And today we are going to talk about another really interesting tool that is used for visualization that is called Matplotlib. So in this class, we are going to have a complete introduction to this amazing tool. So we are going to talk about visualization, what is it exactly, then we're going to talk about Matplotlib and understanding what exactly is inside of Matplotlib and what is the concept of a plot. So let's start. Alright, so the first thing that we need to understand is data visualization and why exactly is it that important in data science or just in life in general. So what is data science? So basically, data science for me is a visual representation of results. So in this case, let's say you guys have a huge amount of data and you want to analyze this huge amount of data. So basically, if you guys are just using, if you're just looking at data without making it visual in form of graphs or any other way to make it visual, it's going to be really hard to understand. So it will be really hard to find answers to questions. For example, you are looking how much people on 100 people's likes pizza, where there is, for example, I don't know, onions on this pizza. So basically you want to know how much people like to have this topping on their pizza. So basically, if you make it visual, so in a form of graph, you will be able to see how much people on this 100 people like pizza with onions on this pizza. If you're just looking at numbers, maybe you will not see it as easily as if you put it visually in a form of graph. So the second thing would be providing an accessible way to understand patterns in data. So once again, this would be, it could be for anything. Let me just give an example in the financial world. So basically you are looking in patterns. Let's say you're looking at a stock and you want to look at a pattern that happens every day or every week or every month. So basically you can do it with data visualization way easier than if you're just looking at raw data. So basically, if you're looking at daily data of a stock, you will not necessarily be able to see all the patterns and all the chart movements. But if you're looking at the graph, or you're looking at any other type of visual representation of it, it's going to be way easier to understand. And finally, it makes large amount of data easy to understand. So basically, data visualization, since it's a visual representative way of data, it can make really huge amounts of data really simple to understand. So basically, you can have millions of I don't know, numbers or elements inside of your database. But if you put it in a form of graph, it's gonna be way easier to understand than if you're just looking at those numbers that are just raw data. So why we have to visualize data? So as I explained, it will at first help us with the comprehension of data that you study. So basically, if you guys are studying huge amounts of data, trust me, it's gonna be really hard to just study those huge amounts of data without representing them visually. So the best way to understand the data that you guys are studying is to visually represent it. And without a visual representation, basically it's almost impossible understanding the data that you are studying. And finally, it's very easy for our brain to understand visualized data. So for the majority of us, we are very visual as people. So basically, if we are putting something in a visual form, so basically we put it, I don't know, in a form of a chart, a graph. So for data, it could be chart, graph. It could be, I don't know, histogram, for example. It could be, well, anything. It could be a map, for example. So on those forms, it's gonna be way easier for our brain to understand it than if we are looking at just raw data. So those are simple examples of how data could be represented. All right, so in Python there is a way to represent data visually. So we talked about different tools that are math tools and other stuff in the past few classes, but to visualize data, there is a tool that is called Matplotlib. So once again, this is part of the Python library. So what exactly is Matplotlib? So Matplotlib is a plotting library for Python. In other words, it works pretty much like MATLAB. So for those who know what is MATLAB, so this is, we can say it, a free version of MATLAB, but that works with Python. Basically, it allows us to visualize data in form of plots or in form of charts, graphs, or many other things, which is pretty cool in my opinion, since it's an amazing way for us to represent data. So what exactly is a plot? It's a way to represent small or large amounts of data. So in this case, here are some examples of plots. So you have the bar chart right here. You can have the histogram right there. So it looks something like this. You can have scatter plots that are just dots everywhere. You can have area plots. You can have pie plots. So basically this is a pie chart. There are some other things that exist on Matplotlib that we are not necessarily going to cover them all. But we are going to talk about the basics, and basically in this part of the course we are going to create plots or charts with different with small databases that we are going to create. So I hope you guys right now understand what exactly is Matplotlib. So as you can see, it's not something that is really complicated, and it's just a way for us to make our data more visual, to be able to understand it. So that's it for this class, guys, and see you all in our next class, where we are going to setting up Matplotlib inside of your PyCharm text editor.